So this is our chat today. We're going to be talking about what we're talking about, Joe.
Obesity and being overweight in women over 40.
Yeah, we're gonna think about we're gonna start with some statistics. We're going to look into some of the causes. We're gonna have a chat about this stuff.
Yeah.
And we're gonna touch upon the risks of it and maybe just think about perhaps what we can do about it. So I've just pulled up this latest data from the UK government, and it says here that 58% of all women in the UK, Joe, are either overweight or obese, and in the 45 and above age group, only 27% of women are either not overweight or obese.
Wow. Yeah, that is surprising. That surprised me. I mean, I knew that there's a problem, but obviously there's a bigger problem than I knew about.
Did you think it'd be that many?
No, I didn't think it was. I didn't think it was that many, to be fair. I mean, I knew
I am shocked as well.
I'm a bit shocked by that. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I suppose as you get over a certain age, like 40, I don't know. A lot of women give up, don't they, or think that that's. I mean, you know, it's easy to be happy with your lot, basically. To say, well, yeah, this is it. I'm over 40. I'm going through menopause, and this I can eat. I can't get any better. I might as well just eat. It's easy to do that, isn't it? And slip into that.
Definitely. I mean, one of the most surprising things here for me is if you look at the age groups of people, these are people, so not women necessarily. But in the age group 16 to 24, right? What percentage would you say of people, you know, it's men and women, what percentage would you say are not obese? Yeah. Age group 16 to 24.
I mean, I would hope that, you know, the statistic will be like 80%.
72% are not, which means that there's actually on here something that's happened recently. I think somewhere on here I saw maybe it's something we can delve into in another video a little bit about. You know, it says here where people are most likely to be overweight, and yeah, it does look more like the north. It looks like where we come from, Joe.
And there's factors about that, isn't there? Because, you know, like people that haven't got money do struggle. And I see it. You see it. I went in the supermarket yesterday, and everything as I walked, it was a well-known supermarket. Everything as I walked through the door of that supermarket, right? You've got the fruit and veg in front of you, so you think. But as you're walking through that door, there's donuts on offer. There's pizzas on offer, chocolates, Pringles, everything you can imagine is on offer before you actually hit the fruit and veg section. So really, all the offers are there in your face.
I always thought it was the fruit and veg first when you walk through the door. Usually is.
It is, but as you're walking to the fruit and veg, there's the offers in most the big supermarkets. I'm not saying all supermarkets, but I've noticed it in 3 or 4 big supermarkets in the UK. And as you walk through the door, before you even hit the fruit and veg, there is in the bigger ones, not the express ones where that is fruit and veg mainly as you walk through the door. But in the big ones, it is sweet stuff, savoury stuff. Yeah, it's unbelievable, actually. And yesterday, I noticed it for the first time, and there was a cafe here selling, you know, all sorts of, well, you know, a lot of it's junk food. And there's a cafe next to, this is all in the supermarket, selling cakes, sweets, you know. And at the end of the day, I'm not surprised really by the figures you've given me. given what choice that there is on
them
offer.
donuts. But there's a map here. I can perhaps pull it up when I edit it, and it's really surprising the difference between the north and the south. I don't know if I share my screen quickly, so for people who are watching the full video, they're about to see this. It's quite revealing and really interesting. And this also surprises me. I didn't realize. Whoops! Can you see?
Yeah, I can see the map.
Just a minute. Okay, I'll have to cut out the first bit. Okay, yeah, can you see that? I mean, like red is the, like nowadays, they like to use red. If you remember the red from the COVID times and the weather alerts,
Oh, yeah.
red means really high danger.
Yeah.
But if you can see here, it's surprising. It does look as though there's certainly more obesity and overweight people the further north you go. It looks like Newcastle, Teesside, that area is the worst.
Yeah, and I bet if you look into the statistics on money and work-wise, where the work is in the country and who's being paid what sort of allowance and what sort of wage, I bet that'd have a big factor in that. Because I do think that when people see that there's 20 donuts on offer for,
they are nice
£2,
they are nice though, Joe.
I only like the ones from Seaside, to be honest. Ones that are dipped in sugar. And
oh, no.
Yeah, but if I'm having a donut, it has to be the one from the Seaside. It does. But you can see why. Definitely, because you're not. You're told all this stuff, but really, food is about education, and a lot of people have been brought up on the fact that the mums and dads don't have education in it. So then there's a whole risk factor then with obesity going up the generations, because it's about understanding what you're putting in your body, and a lot of people don't understand that takeouts and aren't good for you. They
I
just
think
don't
people
understand
do.
that.
I don't know. That's one of those great philosophical questions, isn't it? Do we or don't we know? So here I've got some prompters to help us. It says here, the biggest role, surprise, surprise, of being overweight and obesity is, guess what? Diet.
Well, yeah, diet is 80%, isn't it? And that is it. And when you've got fast food outlets, I mean,
processed food, sugary drinks.
Yeah.
High calorie meals. So a high calorie meal, that would be fish and chips.
Kebab from kebab shop.
Oh yeah, kebab.
Curries,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Chinese takeaway.
The Chinese are not too bad, I think, for calorie. I think Indians were a lot of oil in them Indians.
There's a lot of
McDonald's.
Everything has got, if you look at the best way of preventing being overweight is to cook yourself, because you're putting in. When you look at like going into a takeaway, you don't know what they put in that. They might put in 3 bags full of sugar. You don't know to make it
parts of dogs and cats.
Anything. Oh yeah. Yeah, exactly. You just don't know, do you?
You don't know
what's in it. You don't know what's in it. And I think that's the whole thing.
Well, that's why we have recipes, isn't it? That's why we offer recipes on in our Vitality crew, so to encourage people to do more cooking and
fresh. But then again, not everyone knows how to cook. And you know what?
Right.
Not everyone. You wouldn't believe it. I mean, people would think, everyone's got a cooker, everyone's got a microwave, but not everyone has. Not everyone has.
Look, we were brought up, Joanne, with perhaps one of the the cooking wasn't great, was it?
No, not at all. If you were going to hate food, then there's a reason in our house why you wouldn't have liked it at all, because it wasn't great. I mean, it wasn't great.
Do you remember when my mum used to do sandwiches for pack up, and one day at work, as a joke, my workmate switched the sandwiches from my sandwich box to somebody else's sandwich box, and this lad opened his sandwich box and said, "Bloody hell, my sandwiches look horrible today." And I opened my sandwich box and they look really nice. Anyway,
and at that point, you knew they'd been switched.
they've been, yeah. So diet is the main cause, or
Yeah.
I think it has to be, probably, you know. And then the second one on the list, guess what that could be?
Exercise.
Exercise, physical activity. So what's happening, Joan? What's going on?
Except people don't want to exercise. I mean, they make excuses not to exercise. The amount of excuses I've heard on my, any workout, I've been doing this like for years and years and years, and the amount of excuses I've had for people not turning up, for letting me down, for not showing up to class, either online or offline, whatever it is, the amount of excuses for not doing it certainly outweighs the excuses for doing it.
You know, I think also, like, for me, one of the easiest ways to you know, like when you're pulling up to one of those big supermarkets and you've got like usually a huge car park or a big car park. At the back of the car park, there's usually always space.
Yeah.
You just drive to the back. You don't have to fight anybody for a parking space. And then you can walk, if it's not chucking it down with rain, you can walk to the supermarket and then walk back with your trolley. And that's a little bit of exercise just there doing the shop.
It is. But I've got to admit, I'm a bit guilty of that at times. I've run marathons in my time, and I'll still drive around the supermarket trying to find a space
You
near
don't
the
do
door.
that.
So,
That's no, it's just more relaxed. Just say, I'm going to park right at the back.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
And then enjoy I mean, obviously, if it's chucking it down with rain, it's not probably a good option. But on any other day, less stressy.
And another thing, right? If people only knew, they know. Most people know if they got, if you move more, you lose a bit of weight. You do, and that is fact. If you move more, you certainly retain your weight as it is on a level. But if you move more, it helps to, lose a bit of weight. But if they only realised how good they felt after exercise, this is better than any pill, any pill you can get from the doctors for whatever, ailment you've got. Exercise and the feeling you get from exercise, if you've done a really good workout, outweighs any pill. End of. So, but people don't know this and people don't realize this. They often think that short, fixes to get into a dress for a wedding is going to help them in the long term. Whereas you've got to look at a long-term plan rather than, a short-term fix.
So, I mean, my when I look around and I see people, I mean, obviously striking how overweight people are. When I came back to Sheffield recently, and it's very noticeable. And those are the two. I think those are the big two, aren't they? Diet and physical activity.
Yeah, and
they go hand in hand.
I do think it's difficult, right? So in certain places, I'll give you an example. I go often on caravan holidays to the seaside. So and like when you go to the seaside, literally there is no other option than to eat rubbish at times. Even the local supermarkets, they're full of absolute rubbish to eat.
It's not. Yeah, on holiday though. I mean, it's on holiday that it. Okay, so another thing that I find really interesting, it's not what you do 5% of the time, it's what you do 95% of the time that counts. So, hey, if you're on holiday or, it's Christmas or whatever.
But people living in them seaside towns, they must struggle because I often notice.
There's still supermarkets. It comes back.
Yeah. It does, I suppose. But, but I do think I have struggled. But whether that's because I haven't got what I'd normally have at home, like all my spices, I don't have all that stuff there.
It's just more, you have to get everything in. So physical activity. I mean, that's why you've started the shred team, and it's now the Vitality Crew. Is to, I mean, the idea behind it, is that we encourage people to start slowly with a habit of exercise, don't we? Just really slowly do the daily shred and make progress. So next on our list of one of the reasons why in particular women over 40 are overweight in the UK is what we mentioned earlier. It says here, socioeconomic factors. So that means basically how much money you've got, and where you are. And it's also true, isn't it? If everybody around you is eating in a certain way, or looks a certain way, or is doing a certain thing, then it's like normal. It's like normal. Whereas if you're in an area where everybody's getting up in the morning, jumping out of bed at 6 o'clock, going jogging, you know, every time they open the boot of the car, it's full of lettuces and sprouts and green things and fruit. It's probably more difficult or not as easy to just turn up all the time with McDonald's.
No, exactly. And the thing is, then things are on your doorstep. So it's easy to be lazy, isn't it? And that's it as well. Yeah, and also, and also it is a massive factor that, because if I look, because I like a drink like everyone else at weekend, Alan knows this. I love going out for a drink. I'm a social person. This is what I do in my spare time. But they all think that me and my husband Scott are crazy, some sort of crazy fitness. And we're not really. I mean, we do, I'd say we are doing an average of 3 times a week in our kickboxing gym.
Joanne, you get up every single morning and do a shred. Sometimes do 3. Yeah,
but Scott doesn't. But they all think he's a like crazy man as well. But you know, I do think that there is a factor in there.
Just a minute. So, so yeah, but I don't want this. What we'll do is, if this video gets to 20 minutes, we'll stop and we'll do another one, because there's a chapter thing. All right. So, we were broken mid. So we were talking about socioeconomic factors, which basically means the environment in which you live in, and also the amount of money that you perhaps got available. Although I do think, I mean, I'm you know, a big advocate of plant-based vegan diet and so on, and actually you can eat really, really well and nutritiously on a low budget. But of course, I do understand it means you have to
change your habits.
You have to change your habits, and you have to think about what you're doing more. It's certainly not as easy at the beginning, but it can be done on a low budget. But yeah, those, I think for me, the socioeconomic things is more to do with environment. For me personally, I think it's just be normal. If everybody's doing a certain thing, everybody's eating fish and chips, then that's normal, isn't it? Whereas if everybody's eating healthily, that's normal too. So
it depends what your lifestyle is, doesn't it? Where you put yourself in a lifestyle, and that's what it is. That is. That makes a difference to what you do. I mean, you know, I live in the north, which is considered
Sheffield, yes, one of the coolest parts of the UK. Sheffield, economically,
it's
South Yorkshire.
But where I choose to spend my money, or you know, and I haven't got oodles of money. I'm on a minimum wage, so you know, I choose to spend my money on fitness and health, and I don't choose to spend it on other things like takeouts. And it's where you put your money. It's where you want to put your money at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay. Next on our list, I tell you what, this is now 19 minutes long, so I'm going to end this and then start the next one. We'll have part 1 and part 2 when I do it, when I upload it. Okay. So I'm going to end recording.
Can I just put it?